top 5 before we do all this.
What if
we it says it's being live streamed, so it doesn't matter. Hi, welcome to Talk About Paint Club. I am your host, Mad Hattress, who's always caught off guard by this with.
And I am Rick Strohmeyer, and safety is number 1.
This guy, he's like, I'm just gonna press it. I'm gonna press the button while she's mid question.
Well, I didn't. I thought I had one more button. I honestly thought I had one more button to push.
I feel like at some point, maybe like year 4, we'll get like a real handle on when it's actually says live, and like you, me, like Al, like when you know how Playful Gorilla and all of them are always like, are we on? And he does the slide in because he doesn't know that he's live or whatever. Like all of us at some point will remember how to do a podcast.
Because I like the rawness of it, which is like, you know, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, we're live. It makes me think of a meme I saw years ago, and I'm sure it's making the run around again, thanks to everything that's going on in Ukraine, and not because it's about Ukraine, because it's about Bert and Ernie in front of like a microphone, and it says like Bert and Ernie were morning talk show hosts for 20 years, and they got a notice that, you know, nuclear war had come out, and we only had like 20 minutes of existence on this planet, and legally they were obligated to give everybody tell everybody what was going on, but they decided not to, so they wouldn't panic people so their last 20 minutes wouldn't be in disarray. So like I think like, yeah, that's what's going on. Because, you know, I mean like the Marsham Toy Hour, they just did a Skype meeting, and then Gary Ham would edit it out, like all of this crap. And I'm like, yeah, let people see how the sausage is made. That's fine. So
it's really funny you said Bert and Ernie, because yesterday I went to, like, where I am is the Museum of Play. And I went to see the butterfly garden because of like how my mom liked, you know, her butterflies and everything. And it's so beautiful because when you walk in there's like little baby quails like walking around on the ground. You got to be careful. And I'm like,
that's cool.
Oh, it was super cute. And like the butterflies are floating around, and like you know, they land on you and stuff. And of course, my douchebag self, you know, there's like a little area that, because it's supposed to be like the tropics, that has like kind of like a percussion drum. I don't know what kind of drum it is, so I'm not going to disrespect it, but it had different notes written on it. So of course I recorded the beginning of Take On Me. I think it's Take On Me. I was like, and I think only like one person understood what like I was doing, and they like looked at me. I was like, okay, at least somebody understands the song that I'm loudly playing with 3-year-olds around. But anyways, when you walk out of it, there's a whole entire section with the original, I think it's the original set, or it's a permanent display of Sesame Street. So they have the stoop, and they have like a garbage can that says like out fishing, and they have like the record store and like a few of the old things down like the alley and stuff like that. And I go to sit on the stoop, and this guy yells like, "Can only do it if you can sing the song." And I'm like, are we really like quizzing my 2-year-old self? Okay, hold on a second. Sunny day, Jason. I was like, fuck yeah, I was so proud of myself. But I was like, I cannot believe that I'm gonna like go. But it felt so nice because it was the day after the guy who played Lewis died.
Yeah.
And I was like, what timing that I was planned on going there.
Right.
But it was like super cool, like a nostalgic. And there was pinball machines every like in this room, like old school nice. Pinball, like ones that we would have like, well, you're gonna say we because you're older than me, but you and then me, and then like it had all multiple generations, like my dad's age group, your like it had all of the gaps and like even
That's
modern
cool.
ones. It was fucking, yeah, it was pretty epic because everything was just a quarter, like back in the day.
That is cool.
So our $6 went real fucking.
God dang, man.
We played lots of shit, and then they had like another room that had like cool games from like the old school like airsoft, what is it, air hockey, not like the ones that are all like epic and like pew, 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 now like with the lights and shit. It's like the old table where the air is like, and you remember you used to put your hand over it's like the little holes. Yeah, so
We
that's what
do
I did
have
lately, since you're asking what I did lately.
we have a vintage arcade bar in Minneapolis, and I heard about it right before the pandemic, and it looks like they're still open. So one day, that
Maybe
should
I'll
be
go to Minneapolis and you and I could just go to an arcade. I after this, like after yesterday, and this sounds so stupid. You know how some people are like, one day I would love to have a pool table in my house, or like depending on what their shtick is. Like,
Mhm.
I think I now would really like to have a pinball machine in my house, because that would be like my de-stressor of the century. I think is it. In my if, whenever my dad watches this, because apparently he does watch this afterwards or whenever, the Muhammad Ali one that I used to play because of him. I had such nostalgic moments pull, because it had such a cool lever, because you were able to pull it back like real far and let the ball go, and
Mhm.
the ball wouldn't like ricochet back, because sometimes if you did it too hard the ball will come
Yeah.
back. It sent it off into the machine each time, so you always felt real cool just going like this, going like I was like, shit, if I was stressed out, I would do this all the time and be like
It's cool.
if you come out here again, or when you come out here again, there's a place in New Haven I'll take you to, that if I have to look it up, I'm scared to look it up right now while we're on the here and not get
Oh, I
upset.
appreciate that. Well, no, like I just booked my hotel for 5 Points.
That's what I'll do. There's a place in New York that's like it's a diner, and then behind a wall it's like a, what are those doors called? Like those secret door type shits.
Oh, Batwings.
Speakeasy. It's a speakeasy type door thing, and in the back it's a speakeasy arcade.
Nice.
We'll
Yeah,
go there.
so I am booked Thursday through Sunday. Yeah. So I've pretty much decided, I think I'm leaving early Wednesday and driving like hell across the country, and then showing up sometime Thursday to crash or to stay, and then choose our words better. And then Friday I'll pick up my display case and then go on over and set it up and stuff. So, my last week here is going to be like making sure my sign looks good and stuff. Because I'm still indecisive how I want my sign to look. But other than that, what are you drinking tonight?
It's this fine beverage that people across the world adore and cannot start their day without, and apparently I can't end my night without coffee. And I know somebody that I know that watches this sometimes is going to be like, do you really need to be fucking drinking coffee at night, Nicole? Yes. Get off.
What you do afterwards.
Yours looks slightly sweeter or more citrusy.
So Alicia and I once a month have started going to the farmers market in downtown St. Paul, and so she's hooked on some bread there from one of the local bakers. And today there was this juice lady from St. Paul called Panache, and they're sold in. I didn't know they were sold in grocery stores, but yeah. So I picked up a 6-pack of her apple ginger juice infusion, artisan apple juice infusions, and this one was still frozen at the farmers market, so it's a little slushy. So it's probably a little more concentrated than normally would, and it's amazing. I do enjoy this. Apparently, I do like ginger in my drinks. So
That's good to know.
yeah, so yeah, Maine, Minnesota, like I don't know, yeah, manufactured in St. Hopkins, Minnesota, St. Paul.
Where's
Yeah,
Hopkins?
suburb of the Twin Cities. So
Okay.
hop, skip, and a jump away. Yeah, like this place is huge because the lakes make it spread out, but everything's like you say the Twin Cities, and people typically associate Minneapolis and St. Paul because the river divides it. But then you have like all these, like it's like Dallas and like any major metropolitan area where you just have all the suburbs and stuff. And it's easy once you figure out the two interstates and one goes north south, the other one goes east west. You can figure out anywhere to go. And like because once you figure those two out, the other two are just rings around. So you can take the tour in about an hour or two. Yeah. So on a good day. So yeah. So I'm thoroughly enjoying that, and along with water. So there you go.
I left my water down there, so
we're gonna keep things moving just a little bit because you're doing what I've done, and I'll have to do it in the future too. So thanks for joining us on a remote location. There you go. All right.
well,
so
next week we have some things fun. So while I'm home.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So next, yeah, I was gonna save it to these.
Do that later. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll just just make sure I put.
Let me grab my phone list for my phone.
Right.
I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah. So well, 2 weeks ago, when I was priming stuff at the maker's facility, I had an accident that I've never had before. Well, not with this brand of paint. So paints, most spray paints will say use in a well-ventilated area. Most of the time I use outside, which is the best ventilated area. One of the joys of the maker's space is that they have a finishing room that has a exhaust spray booth. And I was using a brand new primer, new to me, that I've only used outside before. And halfway through using it, I was like, oh, I've changed the air filter. And we had those big rolly carts that like Walmart does to step up with it's a staircase too, and grab the air filter, almost fell off of that. Backwards, just doing the nesty plunge net. And I paid no attention to why I almost fell, just almost did. And then later that night, I realized that I was suffering from pain inhalation. So I didn't talk about it last week because I was still a little embarrassed. And I'm like, you should talk about it just because safety is important for everybody. So
Rick.
I was wearing a respirator. I wore a respirator. I had the exhaust fan going on. I even halfway through, I changed the filter to have a brand new filter and still managed to suck in enough fumes to where I missed the next day of work. And if I hadn't missed it, I would have been fired because like for the next 20 hours after I had painted it, all I wanted to say was motherfucker. And it was like, I had made a post on Facebook that I don't remember posting. Fortunately, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad. It was just like, wow. I mean, I'm just like, I want to say motherfucker about everything. And, I had a weird, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, it's not something that you want to take to a middle school or an elementary school. So like,
Did you not tell me because you thought I was going to get mad at you?
No, I just didn't tell because I was, like I said, I was just a little embarrassed about, a little in denial. And, I've come to the idea like, holy shit,
Well, I take offense to it just because I get very worried about your safety. And, the first thing I would say is like, are you okay? And you're like, oh, let me tell her like a few weeks later. You remind me of like, when my stepdad told me that like, no, correction, his brother via Instagram posting told me his appendix got taken out. And I logged on and I saw it took my brother to the hospital to get his appendix taken out. I feel like this is something where like I find out 5 months later and you're like, yeah, I didn't tell you about that.
No, it wasn't about you. It was just more about like, okay, talk about it because of this or this. And so
then I would have been yelling at people at that place like
well, like my mom and dad were in this horrible car accident 11 years ago. And my dad didn't have he just called me on my mom's cell and says, "Oh yeah, I need you to call me tomorrow after 10 on your mother's or at home," and hung up. I'm like, so I'm like, what the hell? So I'm trying to call the cell phone back and he doesn't answer it. And then I end up calling my grandma. And she's like, "Oh yeah, they were in a car accident, blah, blah, blah."
Oh my God.
And so like the next day I'm like, "Dad, well, I said I'd call you I'd call you after 10 the next day." I'm like, "But you made me wait." Come on. So
When I
yeah.
when I had a car accident, like when I was 17, the bad one or whatever, it's not like it wasn't like that. Like your dad did it like on purpose. I was just all like bleh, like hopped up on like the drugs and ICU, and I couldn't get a hold. They couldn't get a hold of my mom and my stepdad the night before. So I called my stepdad's phone at like 6:30 in the morning, knowing he'd be awake.
Mhm.
And the nurse in ICU like let me use her cell phone or whatever back then. And I was like, "Hi, Dad. How are you?" He's like, "I'm all right. Why are you calling me?" I was like, "Oh, I was in a car accident." And he's just like, all of a sudden, like fucking flailing. I'm just all nonchalant, like was just so out of it. And he's like, "How are you?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I think I broke my spine." And he's just like, he's panicking. You can hear my mom like trying to like flail like around to get dressed and shit. And I'm just like, "Yeah,
Yeah, because then
whatever."
sometime after that, I got my dad hooked to eBay,
Oh
and like
God.
he would just send me money for his stuff. But like there's a couple times he called me, "Oh, I need you to call me back, it's an emergency." And it's not an emergency. It's because he just did a buy it now and he wants his freaking model train to be paid for. I'm like, really? And so like after the second or third time, I'm like, "Mom, you got to tell him to stop doing this. Like it can't be an emergency." As
Yeah.
immediate. So yeah. So real quick before we continue on to the meat and potatoes of this show.
Yeah.
welcome to surprise time. Yeah, we are still running Nicole's color of the month. This month is Tanzanite, which is a pretty nice color. It's a blue violet. And Nicole and I were clever enough to be able to include it in at least our upcoming Illuminati show pieces with Martian Toys at the Mothership. So that's exciting. And I do have two other pieces that I've put it on too, because I'm like, it's a great color. Why don't we use it more? And one of the best reasons why I like using it is because the brand of paints I'm using apparently have really nice coverage for it. So, and it's not hard for blue violet to have really good coverage. So multiple brands should have it. So, yeah.
Good for us. Good for us for getting a good one.
Yeah, and then we have I have a project to open up in just a little bit. So yeah, the show's going to be a little bit different tonight, but that's all right. Every show's different. So we'll open up with Nicole first of what have you done lately, and then you take it away, young lady.
Oh shit, what was I saying to you before we already said it, where I was like, "Well, thanks for asking what I did lately." I mean, I drove here 5 hours. That was cool.
Good drive. No weather, no traffic.
No weather, no traffic. I think because I used to say the prime hour was nighttime, and it never steered me wrong. So, but for my physical well-being, I think the prime time is 9:30, 10. I got a boatload of coffee and a big ass, like my big, like 24 or 64 ounce or whatever the fuck it is, the Goals water bottle. Shout out to Big C for putting me on that thing. I just got in the car and I was like, it's gonna be a fun drive. I have a little protein bite. The thing is like this big, so it's like it's heavy, and I'm like, oh, I'll just pick at this the whole time. Stop when I need to use the bathroom or something, and I'm like, yeah, no one's on the road because it's a Thursday. Everyone's at work. Same theory as nighttime. Huh. And then as I'm going through the day, and I'm only stopping because I need to use the bathroom or, like stretch my foot because like my foot would hurt a little bit. I only stopped twice, 3 times maybe.
Right.
And I think if it was 3 times, one was only stretching because I know I only stopped twice, like to fill my water also at the fountain. And I was like, dude, I actually got here with like only like 45 minutes added to my time with like stopping. Yeah, daytime's definitely this like kind of like throw my, because I must, like when I stop at night, I must stop for longer to wake myself up or something, like not realizing it. I don't know. So it was a good drive. But then I well, I posted it on my Instagram story, but I started a lot of my seeds for my garden, but I don't have like, obviously like unlimited space. But the pods that they have at Walmart, like the starter kit, they're like cells to start your seedlings. They're 72. So like it's a waste to not just start all 72 seedlings and see if other people want it. So I started all of these like tomatoes and like peppers and all this stuff. And, like how I am. I want to make more teas and all that shit for next year. And I was like, if multiple of them pop up the way that they should, like here, you want to come, because there's a thing in my town when I get back on Facebook. So I think I'm going to reactivate it soon. It's like a seed swap exchange. Of course, it's like such a rich white person thing to say. We have a seed swap exchange. And it's like in our town, like between like a few women or whatever. And I was like, cool, let's do it. So I started doing that, and I planted like chamomile and like echinacea, and I have my lemon verbena at home, and then our Illuminati pieces, which we talked about. And then I started doing some work for like these little, they're not that big. I think they're maybe 8x8. I measured them at maybe 8x8. Things that I'm going to put up on my website to donate money back to Ukraine, since my dad's family is half Belarusian and half Ukrainian.
Okay.
So
very cool.
We're gonna, yay, ancestry and DNA. But either way, it's the right thing to do. But either way, like, there's the personal connection too. But the right thing to do, if we can make art and donate it, do it. So I started working on some alcohol ink stuff, like with the cool patterns, like how I do with the last thing for the homework, but not like where it's all blended in. It's pretty separate, and it has like the bubbles, like the little bubble paintings I used to do a few years ago, or like in pink or in green or whatever. I did it where it was pretty separate, blue and then yellow, and it had bubbles throughout it. So it's a very like happy series. So hopefully that does something. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I was kind of looking, I'm sorry, I was like, oh, I bet, because I know the Toy Chronicle shared the Illuminati when it was released like 5 years ago with the Dead Bear. So I was like, oh, let's see if I could find that real quick so I could have the actual information for the show, and I can't find it. So that's right, Dead Bear. Type in Dead Bear pyramid and see if that pops up something better. And it does. Awesome. Anyway, so I had so shout out to Martian Toys. I acquired an abominable snow cone, and I love the abominable snow cone from by Jason Lamone. Jason's a great guy. Actually, all the Jasons I know are great guys. So I must be the asshole in the friendship. And
Oh,
but
right.
yeah, so I painted this one dude. Incredibly pleased with it. Um, it is, of course,
So saturated. Love it.
UV. So like I made the decision to make the cone black as possible, um, so I could have like just the nicest neon effect on it. And there we go. I totally forgot to prime the spoon, and I didn't get the truck with it. So but I have the spoon. Totally forgot to prime it, so I feel dumb, but it would have. Here it is. Um, so yeah, um, I
Shit happened.
painted that. It did. It does. So I got that, and then we got the Illuminati pieces. So before we go, Nikki Davis, Joe Delusion. So yeah, the Illuminati, the pyramids came with the dead bears like 4 years ago, um, from Martian Toys, and you know now we were all given these adorable little pyramids and said good luck to them. And
Yeah, basically.
so yeah, Jiro Delusional, the Eye of Providence. Jiro Delusion, the Eye of Providence. Yeah. So you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Mm,
All right, go.
okay. So we'll start with this side of it. All right.
Okay.
I broke the second rule of Paint Club while I'm here. While I'm here. But that's because I brought it with me to finish up, and I scratched it like 5 seconds before I fucking came on the show. So yeah, good for me. Like literally.
Remember last week when we were so excited we're gonna finish tomorrow?
Like
1 week later.
Yeah, I know. It was done yesterday, and I was so excited, but I didn't bring like a spray, and it snowed, so there's nothing I could do about like even going outside, and the basement was too cold here and everything, and like there's like wood burner and everything, but like even with that, it was not conducive, and it's very dusty down there. So I was like, okay, I'll bring it home, and then one of the cats was like, "Ooh, look!" And just one little dot where I could just go bloop bloop with my black paint. So it's not a big deal. But anyways, so the original side with the eye that concaved in, stop it, is this side.
Okay, very good.
And it's a mood ring. The eye, of course, like now it's gonna take a few seconds because I'm fucking cold. But it's a mood ring, and
oh yeah.
There's that. And then on the other side, okay, so how am I going to do this? I'll show both of the black sides first, and then I'll show the other parts. So there's that with the which kind of also looks like my tattoo at the same time. Mm-hmm. Right. Let me not drop it again and fucking scratch that shit. God help my soul. So like it has the eye,
yeah, and
then it has the lotus, and then that's a unalome, which is like path to enlightenment, which I thought was very like, especially because of like how this is and this. I was like, okay, and Illuminati, connecting all of this weird. Let me not offend anybody. And like connecting all of whatever stuff. I don't know much about Illuminati. I won't lie. I won't be a liar. I don't. And then my other black side, I put another eye.
Oh, in heart.
To do like the Sacred Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it's not just like glued on, it's like carved out and stuck in.
Okay.
So it's like, because initially I was going to put another eye there, and I was like, and I just want like, here's the road, and I just want like this. For a reason, but because I was like, oh, I could do an eye with the heart, and I was like, there's not that much space for that with the same side. I wanted to make sure that this eye was the same size as this side, which is 14 millimeters. So I measured it out and everything, and it's the same distance from me. Like, it's the same height. It's the same. I wanted to keep it the same. And then for their opposing sides with our tanzanite, his opposing side is a sculpted lotus flower with a unilume. And then her side is a sculpted heart with sculpted hot stuff.
Nice.
And I mixed for my tanzanite color, I mixed light blue violet. This is one of my favorite colors by Liquid X. No sponsorship. With a few drops of their deep violet.
Right. There you go.
And I sat there with like that with the marker, because it's kind of funny. The wheel that I have, it has all the fancy names and whatever on it. But like, if you saw my Sharpie collection, I have like the ultimate collection, which has like set like 100 something in it. I have like this box, the same marker or a shade that's very close to it exists somewhere. So I sat there and I like kept doing this to get the color. But this is where I chipped it. That tiny little deep.
Oh, it's black. You'll fix it in no time.
That's why I was like, no big deal. But I was, in my head thinking, as I'm logging into Paint Club, I just broke rule number 2. And number 2 is my lucky number. So we're going to get all weird Illuminati. I don't know. So we're going to get all like, we're going to get all deep rabbit holey here. And 2 also is the number in numerology, the number of fucking duality. So wouldn't it be my luck that my piece that I was very happy that was done would get a scratch, because that's the duality of the life. Since I
there
decided
you go. That's
shit. Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, and what I was telling you before when I said, okay, I'll say it before when we log on. So if Lucy ever sees this, what I was saying about like the rhinestones, I was thinking, because on I hope I'm saying it right, unilumes, they have 3 dots, or they have a few dots. I was thinking of putting, like crystals on this one, just because it has the part that's
I think your economy is good.
That's what I was. That's why I was like, I was doing that. Leave it alone, Harris. Leave it alone, Harris. And that's why, like, anytime I think, should I put a rhinestone? My ass goes, leave that to Lucy. Leave that to Lucy. Like, like, even if it's 1 rhinestone, my ass is like, leave it to Lucy. Like, that's her life. That's her life. But like, I wanted to keep it like not like simple, but like kind of simple. Like, I didn't want to put too much on like the sculpted parts, because it's already sculpted. And then, like, it mimics its like an eye. So it's like, does it need, at least my head thought, does it, when I always go like ham of like, it needs this, it needs this, it needs this. I did the keep it simple, stupid. And I love it. But the problem is, when I love things, they either get lost in the mail or they sell, which, yay. But like, the Mad World piece, I loved because it was a Treasure Cat. So I was like, I'd be okay if it doesn't sell. I'll take it all. Like, it's okay, because it's, I would put it on display, and then it sold. So I was like, yay, cool. And then my blockbuster for Complex still says right now on November, still says November 6th last scanned in Glendale, California. So it never got there. And I said the same thing. I'd be okay if this piece doesn't sell, because I really love this one. And then I'm like, you know what? How about I stop like saying that? I'm gonna be like, I hope you sell.
Yeah, I got 2 Pugloos when they first came out, and I was like, whichever one, I love them both. I'm like, whichever one sells, the other one I'm keeping. And they both haven't, neither one of them is sold. So like, oh, I'll take them to 5 points, and if one sells, I'll just shelve the other one
in your bag.
Yeah, I'm like, I love them.
I
And then I
did.
ended up paying 2 for clutter, and like I don't think those sold. So I'm like, I could probably try and reclaim those before 5 points and have all of them available.
That would be pretty, yeah, because then you have more options available, so you don't have be like, here's one or two. Okay, well, one back in my bag. It's all three. And
I love Puglu. It's like so
I
fun.
really hope that they let us buy this piece, because there's so much room for like creativity on this shit. And I was so late to the customized game. And like, again, I don't know much about Illuminati. I don't. And again, I'm disrespectful as fuck when I say things like not knowing it, but my brain just kept saying to be like equal and like uniform in a way. So like this part, I made sure like it was measured the same, that these start that these are like, if you look at it from like that.
Okay.
So if you had it on like this side, I know like I didn't do it with this one, but like these are the same, like the bottom part of this is like, there was a lot. I tried to think like and do it from that corner.
That's smart.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I've ever had someone tell me what I did with art was smart.
Oh, come on.
Usually I hear, we always say to each other like, oh, that's cool. Like not you and me, but like all of us to each other. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. That's smart is a very nice compliment. Thank you.
You're welcome. No, like, yeah, I like, so I'll show mine.
Yes.
And let's see, where is it? So I have to.
So rude.
So I have to give a shout out to Jason Forbes first, because like I totally don't remember having the conversation that we had before he showed me his idea, and apparently I'm giving him creative designer or creative. I'm giving Jason credit for helping me with my idea. So where do we go? All right. So I built, those are my guys. They're built as alien invaders. So I'm calling them the Yorg Force. So the JOR Force. So the J and the FO for JFO, for my buddy Jason, who gave me the idea for this spraying one, because he had his all set up with lights and shit. And I'm like, so my laser blast. What?
Is that from a Forbidden?
Where?
The spray.
So the laser blast is from a Ravager.
Oh, Ravager. Sorry, Forbidden. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
That's all right. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah. The Forbidden Tech. No, so that's from a Ravager. And I totally don't remember having a conversation with Jameson. So so giving him total props for the idea. His was way more elaborate than me drilling a hole and gluing it to a zombie. And so I had these junked up Apocalypse terrain bases that I was able to. I just made these into fucking alien invaders, and I thought that was the funniest thing for an Illuminati because
Yes, I love it so much.
I have the Tanzanite as the thank you. As the and I'm pointing at the screen that you can't actually see me pointing. So I have the Tanzanite as the accent marks on all the things, the stripes and the legs, and it was pretty simple paint job, color wise. Is like this one has more of the GOAT sports team look because of the yellow and gold. For a Vikings fan picks it up great. And I kit bashed the shit out of multiple toys to get these guys. So this one is the space crab body. I'm sure Aaron will note it because Martian Toys did a show on the space crab wars years ago at DCon. Like I said, the bases I had available The guns are from Grimlock, from a Transformer toys from by Loyal Subjects. The rockets are from Transformers from Loyal Subjects. I actually didn't glue the pyramid down yet. And then this one it's painted like this. It is painted to have that gray scale in the background, to have that massive shadow so that the green stands out more. The spray is a Ravager. That's a little zombie miniature I had, and I added more goo to it to make it look like it's melting, just like the ones here where I have like spots of droplets and shit. And then I cut the zombie in half to put it in there to make it look like he's already been shot and melting into a puddle of shit. And
I like that, like by doing that with both pieces, it makes it part of the same dystopian universe.
Yeah.
But makes them separate. Like you don't have to buy them together, but you can.
Right.
So, like it would tell a story regardless.
Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, so like the bases were done really simple with like 4 colors. Just to like I wanted that neon green to be the pop. But like I wanted to tell a story. And like shout out to the news right now, because I got to see like Rubble live for 24 hours in a row, so all the time. So there's the green light, the black light shot of the one with the melting zombie in the background. So everything, like the tips of the guns are still heated up, and there's the money shot for the other one.
The money shot.
Yeah. So yeah, and there we go. Those were super fun to paint. I'll share those on Instagram later tonight, but I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna show those here first.
Oh man,
I'm pretty pleased the way they came out. I'll have to shoot a video to show Ian how to put Ethan to put the other one together. But I just got them back from the makers after varnishing them today, so like I'll ship them out Tuesday, and they'll be there with plenty of time. So I'm super excited for that. Like that was a lot of fun. Like like the bases were a little like boring, but not boring, but it's like a little depressing, because it's like so many grays, and I used news footage from the Ukraine to like, well, if I want to see what a war-torn country looks like right now, I have a million hours of footage. And so yeah, and we'll just stop there. So there we go. So somewhere along the lines, last week we decided we'd talk about our top 5 top 3 albums, personal choices. And so I was like, oh, let's do that we could do that with covers, right? And it was pretty hard to for me. It was like I listen to a lot of covers, apparently, and that is a gateway for artists, for bands to try and get their foot in. Like we cover something that a popular song, or just something that's like on the fringe. Funny enough, I said to Alicia, like long after my list was done, I was like, and Weezer's Africa, that's an amazing cover. She's like, we don't ever have to listen to that song again. But like, I don't care.
It's on my Apple Music though.
Yeah, it's on mine too. And I'm like, that's great. Like, so I have a playlist that's kind of my go-to for like all my painting and stuff. And I realized that like all but one of the songs on my list are on this playlist. So I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer.
It's funny that yours are on a playlist, because I started a playlist that I called my fave covers, because I don't have many like playlists on my Apple Music. I have like songs that remind me of like my mom. I have songs like to listen to in the shower, songs for like driving, because for me my painting is like it just press shuffle and I could literally listen to like any fucking song on here. And if it's something I just don't feel like, I'll skip it. So like I have like Disney, like stuff like that. And I started doing like the covers, and I was like, I gotta thank Rick for this one because I started to realize how many damn cover, like you said, how many songs are covers, and
Yeah,
then B, it's all like finally in one collective spot for me
right.
because like cover. I'm not gonna say the names of them. Certain covers that are on my list are under various artists. Like where where it's on a album of like a revamp or something like that. It's you got to find them. So like now it's on one conducive playlist. So
Mhm.
cheers to you.
I know,
Now,
yeah,
what
I
if
was thinking,
you have the same song?
well, that's fine. You make a connection symbol. Um, but like, so I had had a couple of my own personal rules. One, I do not care for Led Zeppelin covers. Like, with the exception of one Tori Amos cover, I cannot, or one Tori Amos version, I cannot stand Led Zeppelin covers. And I refuse, even though all the covers by Marilyn Manson are pretty good, I refuse to put any on this list. Um,
Okay,
so that being said, there's
look,
also like,
you get one of these from me.
so
Peanut.
and then the other thing is like you have songwriters who are like, for example, Cole Porter or Rodgers and Hammerstein or like Jim Steinman, who just wrote and wrote, and then other people did sang them and performed them, and then other people sang and performed them too. So they're not really, I wouldn't consider those covers. So I didn't put any of those on my list, even though like, because like when Jim Steinman wrote songs, Barney Taylor, Meatloaf, and Celine Dion would sing them and stuff. So it's like, are they
Yeah.
really covers? So and I'll let you go first, and then I'll just give more of my opinion as we go on.
Before we get into that, one thing about what you just said, my
Mhm.
old boss who I worked for like 8 years, his grandpa or his like step grandpa, but his grandpa, because that's who he knew as his grandpa, was fucking like was Hammerstein.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was always a fun fact because we figured that out while playing 21 questions together.
Oh, and
Um
I really have. I'm sorry. I
no,
really have
it was good.
I really have no explanation of why I picked them, and not a big history. It was just like, yeah, I know who performed them all as originals. I'm like, oh, I don't know what makes them great. Just, they're on my playlist because they're good. They're great.
And for
There you
me, I don't have an order.
go. Okay, that's fine.
These are not in any order because if we had to say 1 through 5, then I would ask you for next month.
No, it's in any order is fine. That's what I
So
figured too.
my first one is "While My Guitar Gently Weeps"
Oh,
it's on the 50th anniversary Beatles album. It is the cover, so it's a live cover. It
mhm.
is from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when Prince, Tom Petty, Stephen Winwood, Danny Harrison, and everyone got on stage and played it. And to
Nice.
this day, I will fucking listen to that. And I don't know. No, I do know what it is. It's Prince's guitar solo that fucking
Okay.
just like that livens it up in such a way for me that I'm like, this is, I don't want to say it's my preferred version, but it's very well my preferred version.
Okay. I have David Lee Roth's "Just a Gigolo."
Sorry. Just the name of it makes me giggle every
So
time.
I Ain't Got Nobody, Just a Gigolo. It's by oh gosh, I just Vic Damone sang it. The video you cannot explain to 18 people under the age of 18 anymore. The video is beyond reproach nowadays. But the song is hilarious, and that song gets me going when I'm like, yeah. Um, funny enough, funny, yeah. So it also has a weird Dark Tower connection, but that doesn't matter. But it's like, yeah, that's it. That's one.
That's what. looking at my list because I wrote it down. I'm like, damn, because you just said gets me going. I'm like, mine are kind of like not sad, but mine are all like kind of like when you're in the car, you're just like either like air guitar and all loud, like how like this that one would, or you're singing like belting it out in the shower type shit. You're like,
Oh no, I'm pounding the fist on one of these. Like,
yeah, no, you know what? I have okay, and I do have one on here that I asterisked to put as and I said number 6 in case Rick says we have to add one if we have the same
mention.
if we have the same one. No,
Okay.
in case you said like, oh, we have to match one, name another one. Like I had one in the back pocket. That's my no, actually another one is too. Whatever. Anyways, my second one, Sound of Silence by Disturbed, originally by Simon and Garfunkel. I don't need to say why. I mean, if you heard it, you know. If you haven't, you should. The album version, the live version where he harmonizes with, I forgot who it is. I have both on my phone. I don't have Simon and Garfunkel's on my phone. And the change in the lyric of 10,000 people, maybe more, for the 10,000 Fists album, I'm like, yes! Like, I don't know why, but that song every time makes me, like you said, go like,
there you go.
His voice is just so, oh, and like that the album version is obviously beautiful, and the live, if you haven't heard it, Rick, like, oh my God,
I've heard them both.
Oh, that harmony, I'm just like, sing it to me. And like there's another cover of the song that I like by the Pentatonics, because I like some of the Pentatonics covers, but I was, if it comes on and I'm like, oh hell no, I want, like, if I'm in the mood for that song, I'll switch it. And I'm always like, why do I have this version on here if that's the case? Because like I love that version, but I'll switch it to the live one instead. And I'm like, I really have like a high preference to poor Simon and Garfunkel. They wrote the song so Disturbed can run with it.
Right. That's the way to go. Oh gosh, real quick, I'm trying to make sure I'm going to say my words right. Okay. Okay. Number 2.
Yeah.
Ace Frehley's New York Groove. Yeah, I don't know what. It's got like a rock and roll and disco beat to it that's just like, once you start with clapping with them, it's like that you just keep you go. You know, that's fun. Like, I had originally done by a group called named Hello 2 years prior. And yeah, and for a while that was the only one I could get, was the Hello version. Like, yeah, it's fine. It's a little more bubblegum pop, but yeah, Ace Frehley's pretty good. And that's when they Kiss decided they'd split up so that they could like try and sell 4 times the records by having each one be their own individual artist. Like, I totally disagree with that idea, but what the hell, it did produce some really cool songs with it. So that's number 2 on the old list. But for your Disturbed one, Alicia had recommended that to me. I was like, no, that's not my bag.
Well, when we're done, you should tell her, Nicole picked your bag. See, every single day I realize that Alicia and I should be together.
All right, number 3.
Numero 3 is this one is just it's personal. Tiny Dancer was my mom's song.
Oh.
So Florence and the Machine's Tiny Dancer. It makes me, no matter what, in the very last like chorus, I cry. No matter what, even if I'm not sad. And like I won't cry. I have like a few tears because it always gets me so emotional, and I'm like, no offense, Elton, because I'll play both versions. It's not one of those like with Sound of Silence where I'm like, I don't know, no thanks, Simon and Garfunkel. Like I'm good, like I'll play Elton shit, but when that one comes on, like it just does something to me, and it makes me think of my mom. And when I first heard it on that Revamp album, which is what started this,
Mhm.
is what
That's cool.
started this. That's why when you said that, I was like, I already know one. That one is like, there's three, because I was saying that, not that song. What started was me saying Queens of the Stone Age doing Yellow Brick Road. And I was like, well, then I would just say the whole fucking album if I start going down this hole, but
Right.
I knew instantly. So Tiny Dancer, Florence and the Machines.
There you go. I have Faith No More is Easy, the Lionel Richie cover.
Ooh.
And Faith No More, their version of Easy. It came off a maxi single when I was like in high school, called Music to Make Love To. And it had like a silhouette of two rhinos humping on the Sahara. But it's the video was cool because it was just like all them hanging out with drag queens as they were getting ready for a show. But yeah, it's like they do a fine job of modernizing the instruments, but it's pretty much, it sounds like the Lionel Richie song, which I think is amazing. They didn't do anything really fancy I mean, Mike Patton does a couple things, like when Lionel Richie, instead of his high pitch, ew, Mike Patton goes, ew. It's the best. Like
I'm writing all yours down so I could listen to them later.
There you go.
Because since I love covers.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna make me a new covers list. Like I've like the next one is a hell of an explanation of my love of covers. Actually, the next two, but and it's just yeah, no order, but there you go. Yeah, I love Faith No More. They can do no wrong. Mike Patton can pretty much do no wrong as an artist and a musician. So not having, and they've done multiple covers like Four Pigs and a couple others, but like that one just it's clean. All right, Chuleta.
4 is Bad Wolves Zombie by the Cranberries.
Okay.
Which they recorded in honor of the lead singer when she passed away. It like I said, it does things to me. It gives you the chill. It gives me the chills and the and whenever I need to think of like I don't want to say which, like, is the cover better than the original, because like sometimes yes, sometimes no, but like if a cover song gives me the chills for either reason, being better or just as good, it needs to stay like on like my playlist and shit like that. But that one, because I love that song, like that shit like really gets, especially Painting, for some reason, like if I'm like just like I can't think or something, I'll start like just singing around the house and shit like that, like while painting and just like jamming out, and I'll play both versions back to back because I don't care if I hear the same song twice in a row.
There you go. Number 4 will be Ministry Supernaut. It is Supernaut. It is a Black Sabbath cover. And before Ministry covered it, Al Jorgensen's other band.
Ooh, I love Black Sabbath.
So like when I in high school, they a tribute cover album was released to Black Sabbath, where you had Faith No More, you had Megadeth, Ministry, Rob Zombie, Biohazard, Helmet, Ozzy played with somebody on this, and it's just like 10 great bands all doing Black Sabbath songs, and they all sound great. Biohazard, yeah. it's suicidal nativity, typo negative, and it was just like it's a really good album. There might be one dud on it, but it's like Black Sabbath is one of those bands that like metal bands can cover no problem. Um, and I like hearing Black Sabbath covers. On the flip side, like I said, I cannot stand listening to people cover Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, really. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, like there you go. And my next one will be pretty much the opposite of that. But
When I was younger, and I thought that I would be a WWE wrestler.
Mhm.
Like young me pictured like what would be my entrance music. Like, oh man, Attitude Era had me like thinking shit. And my song was Crazy Train.
Nice.
And I'm telling you, nobody my age knew what the fuck that shit was. And like me and my like, I was like the only girl who like watched wrestling really. And me and like my guy friends in my neighborhood like would fucking like wrestle in my neighborhood, you know, before I had boobies. And because then mom said, you were not doing that.
No.
Yeah, that shit ain't happening anymore. Like I was like, we would pick our songs like, and we would, so one person, if he had it because it was his mom's, so if he could take it while she was at work, would bring the like a boombox like and play like put the tapes on and would play it for us to come out and be like we would like practice our entrances and like oh my god, me coming out to Alabama, it was so funny. And to this day I think about recording it like and tagging him and seeing if he recognizes like nearly like 25 years later, like you remember us doing this shit. Anyways, it's just because you said Black Sabbath, I was like, I gotta tell them because like every girl was like, "What is this?" And every guy friend of mine's like, "Oh, she likes
Ozzy." That album is called Nativity in Black. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. The cover is a tarot card.
Oh, of course, no wonder I love it.
I like, yeah.
Because my dad never had like his.
Right, did you get your last one?
No, I didn't say it because we started talking about this. My dad like he would have his tapes, but a lot of the times like the artwork or whatever would be out of it because he would have them like
to
like look at and stuff like that. So I didn't know what half of like I didn't know what shit was sometimes. And like as I got older, I started realizing like I should learn like the names of albums that I appreciated that were played vinyl, you know, that were played on tapes in the car before, like, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, that dad would throw on and I wouldn't be able to see what the thing is because he'd take the vinyl sleeve and slide it back into its plethora of library or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so number 5.
I fucking love album art.
Number 5. Guns N' Roses, Live and Let Die.
Oh, ding. There you go. No, I don't. That is not.
I don't know why.
No, that's a fun one.
Yeah, that's about it. It's a fun one. Like, when it comes on, I no matter how many times it's played, and it's a lot of times played more often than the Paul McCartney version.
That's one of their better hits that aged well.
Yes. When I was in high school, we'd one of my friends would yell, him and I would yell down the hall at our alternative school. He'd be like, "We in the jungle, baby," and I'd be like, "We gonna die." And then, should I tell you my asterisk one before you tell me your 5th, or after?
You can do it now if you'd like. I don't have one.
My asterisk one, because I honestly thought you were gonna say Sound of Silence.
Oh.
That's one I thought, either that or Live and Let Die, because like I know that they're both pretty popular. So I know that you usually don't err on the side of what everybody knows and does.
No.
Well, you're not a follower. But whatever. Anyways, I didn't know how popular you might get, but I
Okay.
had on here Bad Company by Five Finger Death
Oh,
Punch
yeah.
as my backup. And I even
Yeah.
wrote here Bad Company, Five Finger Death Punch, asterisk, in case Rick says no, need number 6.
Oh. My number 5 is a Ramones cover, because I freaking love the Ramones. And they have such a basicness to them that people can polish it to a fairly well. Like, I mean, you got Tom Waits has done a couple of them, and like Tom Waits is pretty much the one that, like, wow, he's deconstructed it even more and done a fantastic job with it. But I went with Starcrawler's version of Pet Sematary. So if you've seen the new Pet Sematary, that's the one on their on the soundtrack, and it's really cool. I like the lead singer. Her voice is great. They have a nice they have a great energy to them, and yeah, it's interesting when you can just make that shift of a male to a female or female to male, and it's like reinvents it. So
Yeah.
It feels harder. It just feels like a harsher, cleaner version, and I really enjoy it. So,
I like
and now Starcrawler has a new and because of that, which is one of the gateways why artists do covers, is so they can get more fans. Starcrawler has a fan in me, and like I was a fan of 80s. And just a real quick recap, I was a big fan of 80s Van Halen, David Lee Roth before that song came out. Kiss, all right. Faith No More, I already was a fan of. Ministry was pretty okie doke, but Starcrawler is pretty much, that's the goal, to get new fans. So to me, I think that would be number 1, just because it's like that lured me in.
Yeah.
So.
With Bad Company, that one, like, me asterisking was like kind of painful, but at the same time, I was like, I can't put this one ahead of this, like the way I was doing it in my head. But for that song, my, John, before he passed away last year after my mom, that he was a rare man in his time to say, like, if a cover, like, he would never say a cover was better than the original. Never. Like,
right.
Nope. Never could get him to say that shit. And he was like, yeah, no, this one's better. And I was like, ooh. And so we would play it at pool. So a lot of times that would be like one of my songs, like, to come up to play, because we would have like a playlist of songs like that should play during our matches for us to be hyped. And that one was like one of mine that was on there. And I also had to tell myself no Disney songs because of the rule because the rule that you said, or what you were saying earlier, were like, they're written by somebody, and then there's, so it's like, even if, let's say, Beauty and the Beast was sang by XYZ the first time, even though it's sang by XYZ the second time, but the original is never done by the writer or whatever. And I was gonna put Stevie Ray Vaughan's Little Wing on there, but I was like, wait, maybe he needs us to have lyrics.
Oh, I wouldn't care. I mean, I guess I wouldn't, but yeah, like,
I went with songs that all have lyrics. Like, I was like, let me follow a format that I
make up yourself.
A rule. It was a rule for me, at least, to like think of what would I consider the best cover, like lyrically, like all encompassing parts. Because then I would start breaking down every fucking cover. Like, well, this one has better guitar. This one has.
Well, we'll do a different assignment when we come back. I don't want to do this when we have a guest next week, but we'll.
No. Oh, we have a what?
Yeah, we got a guest.
We have a who?
Right. Oh, I'm writing down and all right. Yeah. So we'll talk about that in just a second, or in a minute. But we're gonna do a little unboxing for about 5-10 minutes. I'm just gonna do two packs. So I got in the mail. There we go. Hey, I
Yeah.
got it at the right angle.
Hey.
So I got this in the mail earlier this week, the Creatives trading cards, and I really like this project. My original plan of buying this was to do it at a con, so I could actually like have the joy of while I was waiting, while at a booth to open up stuff, and potentially just be not exactly spontaneous, but like be able to do it all in one shot. And the more I thought about it, I was like, this is not going to be the way I envision it, because we may never go to the way it was 2 years ago. So I bit the bullet, and I'll have a new strategy for it. So before I open this, I did perforate this. It did come with the story of the clown. So Angel Red Guardian spearheaded this project. And the
Yay.
trading card project for creatives to create their own trading card. And I really dig it. I got the Lost in Creative, and sorry, I'm not taking these out of the plastic. My fingers are clumsy. So I got the Lost in Creative card. I'll get him to sign that. And I got the Priscilla.
Oh, so you got the correct ones.
Oh, I didn't know if they were incorrect.
So yeah, so in the I don't know if it was on purpose or I don't know. But
so then
on the original in the boxes, those two, the numbers were flip flopped in so it said Priscilla's on Lost stuff, and it said Lost. Oh yeah.
Oh damn,
That's
I
cool.
didn't know. Okay.
Well,
all right,
because
yeah.
if you open your packs and you have the other ones, that means you have both. Like that's cool.
Okay. And then it came with the checklist, which I very much appreciate.
I love that.
Like and I recognize a couple names, and I'm like, oh, I am following her, and I thought she was somebody, and for the longest time. So yeah. And then so we got a couple of Angels cards about the story of his characters, the Chunder and the clown. We have both painted a Chunder, and so we'll open up this guy.
Do it.
So like this is like that nice throwback to when it's like you little kid getting Garbage Pail Kids. So the packaging, we open her up. It is cram packed full of cards. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off opening these, and we'll just open them up. Not necessarily every week, but I'll open them up on the show. And I think that would be fun too.
Ooh, I like that idea.
So I'm pretty certain we'll have enough shows between now and 5 points, so I don't have to worry about like
maybe.
Yeah. So I got this, I got the scissors, and I say rule number 4 is don't cut your cards, but yeah. So I'm gonna open that one, and then I'll cut this one open.
Don't let my dad see what you're doing.
Hey, to each his own as a collector.
I know. That's why you heard me when I did it. I was like, I'm really uncomfortable doing it right now.
So I really like the foil packaging. That's really cool. The gold foil instead of it being a yellow. I think that is a nice touch.
Yeah.
My one big terror is if you've ever talked to elementary school kids while they're eating lunch, you tell them to stop what they're doing because they will try and do this while they're eating. So you very much hound them to stop opening so you don't have to talk over the crinkling of packages or paper bags and shit like that. So I'm going to get that out of the way quick. And I'm not going to look at that. We're not going to look at that. And then we're going to take this pile, and I have to look at these upside down. Actually, I'm looking at it on my computer screen. So we have Chris WK, Robots Will Kill.
Ooh.
Chris WK. I recognize that straight out of the box. That is cool. Oh, it looks like a Valentine. All right.
Out of his dusty. Yeah.
Bought into that idea. It looks like a little old school Valentine. That's smart. All right.
Ooh.
I thought I'd be able to recognize people by their styles, and the Theodoro, the Cranius. I thought it was him, and like I said, I'm looking at him upside down, folks. If I stutter on this, sorry. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're the worst, God.
It looks like Krusty should be part of Super Mario 3D, and he's just
Yeah.
been sheared. That's cool. All right, Emmerich Kendrick. Nope.
No,
Tenabit.
you have.
Nope. That's Tenabit 23.
Oh, wait, backwards. Yep, sorry. That's Jeremy. Whoopsies. Sorry, Jeremy. Don't get mad at me. Love you, Jeremy.
Here we go. Aha, that's the way to hold it. All right, Tenabit 23. That's his adorable character. Ah. And I am blowing through these. It's not disrespect to anybody, except I know Nicole's on not borrowed time, but we're running a little long. So Chris Dockery. Hope I said that right. I like it as it's set up like it. That's cool. It's got a foil background on it.
Yeah, look at the light on his lighter.
On the fuse, yeah, on the lighter. That's foil printed too. That's pretty slick. That's really slick to handle how they handled the background. It's also nice to see like how the printing process goes. I think I know who this guy is.
Hey, somebody.
That's a dude named Big C who's been a guest of this show. There you go, GeoFats. Boom.
I think that's the if I'm not mistaken, that's one of his favorites. It's the lava one that he did for Hawaii because it glows like rocks.
I had to turn it upside down so I could actually look at it now, guys. Sorry. All right, GeoFats. That's cool. Oh my gosh, look at that DIY card. Reppin' sign below. I will. Rick Stroh's going to get his own card. That's cool.
You're going to have
I love this idea. This is a brilliant idea. Yeah, I like this a lot.
You better have them all done for 5 points because each pack has one, and you could have some good traders there.
Well, I just saw one of the cards and I moved it to the bottom of the deck out of purpose because I didn't know he was in there, but it's just convenient.
I have a feeling I know.
Okay, so Lunchbox.
Ooh, I like this one. I don't have that one, I don't think.
That's cool.
Does it say this one? It does say this one.
That's funny. All right, and that one. So I have this one and that one.
That's actually cool. Are those numbered?
That's hilarious.
Are those numbered in order?
No. This one was no 103 and this one's no 105. The checklist will tell me
if 104.
I'm looking.
No, it doesn't tell you the name, it just tells you the artist.
Oh, well, it could still say like if it's him.
It is him.
Okay, so all three of them, 103, 104, 105 is him.
You know what 104 says now, so we could be like this one, that one.
That's great. Okay, so another collab card with Chris Dockery. Cool.
And it's a collab card.
That's cool. I like that. And
look
then
at the back.
Look at the back.
Yeah.
Collab card with and I put my name here.
A.
There you go. All right. We'll see what I can do.
I like that.
And then another collab, or no, this is the one DIY. I put that back. Oh no, maybe I have two. All right. This was not the last, but I saw it in here and I decided I'd pad it a little. So Catatomic, who will be our guest next week. That is exciting.
Yeah.
So we get to have Catatomic. He can't virtually sign it, but I'll hold it up with us. And then last but not least, we have Arctic Fox.
That's the last one I need of her, so I hope you have doubles of it.
That's cool. The printing on the foil is pretty slick.
The way it like illuminates that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I'll have to talk to Angel.
Justice to the artist's work. My God.
I'll have to talk to Angel about that printing process. I was a printer once upon a time. All right, so back.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Wait, we talked about this. Never mind. I knew that.
That's all right. Well, done a lot of shit. All
Yeah,
right, so
how many lives of it?
we're going to go back to this because I realized something on this that I really dig. Um, I like that it is the full design that goes all the way to the edge, and it's like, I don't want to say a sample, but it looks. I really like the full bleed of Felix's work on that. So all the way to the edges. I love the symmetry. I love his color choices, and we'll talk. I look forward to talking more with him next week. So
Wait till you see them. You know what? I'm gonna send you the link to the binder that I got for mine, like because I got this. Oh wait, did I show you?
Are you kidding? I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with my Garbage Pail Kids, and I just found those at my mom's last week.
Put them in a binder?
No, just one rubber band around them all.
I was like, I hate you sometimes, but I love you. The binder is like this bit, is like maybe the size of my iPad, so 11 inches or something like that, and you could throw it in like your backpack, and it's 4 pockets per thing, and it's 400 slots. So since there's 200 cards, I think, but I bought extra so I can give you some extra sleeves for like,
that's neat,
any double blank ones or whatever, like I put all my DIYs in the back and stuff like that, but like it has a slot so you can have it like showing the card, and then when you flip it you can have the signature showing on the back.
Oh sure.
But you can bring it to like, the conventions and have that as like your sketchbook.
No, that is
bringing people around for sketches, like, hey, can you sign my card?
Right on. That's cool. What I noticed is, like, if you have a foil on your front printing, you have a gold border on your back.
Yeah.
If you don't, you get the regular yellow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to have. I don't know how the printing is. Hey, we're gonna talk. I'm sure he'll give me 2 minutes of his time.
You have one more pack.
Nope, I opened 2.
You showed both?
I opened both of them and slipped them all together.
Why did I not? Oh, no wonder you had both DIY cards. My dumbass over here is sitting like,
you got 2 DIYs in one pack.
Yeah, thinking you got extra cards too. And my fucking dumbass is like obviously half awake apparently with 2 cups of coffee, because I'm like not counting that we've gone past 6 cards.
That's all right. That's why we're only going to do 2, and we're cutting we kind of, I don't want to say powered through, but we did go a little fast, but that's all right. You can get your sleep, and I will So that being said,
for the dead.
That being said, next week we'll see if we can do it this way, how far I have to hold it. Next week, Catatomic will be joining us. I look forward to seeing Felix. We can talk about his all his projects, his professional life outside of toy design, because he is also a licensed or an art teacher and has his own classroom. So I look forward to being able to ask all kinds of questions, get his insight on stuff. So that being said, Nicole,
educators of the youth. So I'm very excited for that too on the same channel. Yeah. Also super, super stupid.
No way. All right. So Nicole, that being said, tell all the good people where they can find you.
I keep saying here in my head because how we used to sign off on Instagram, the.madhattress. And I guess I'll be back on Facebook soon. I forgot why I said I was doing that, but you and I talked about it. That's my normal name there, and madhattress.net.
There you go. I'm Rick Stroh on Instagram, RICSTROH at Rick Stroh on Instagram, and of course rickstroh.com. And we do this for the good vibes. And number 1 rule about Paint Club is always talk about Paint Club. Thanks a bunch for joining.
Number 2 is don't do what I did.
Don't scratch it.